Okay, Nigel, you spoke about the ageing population in farming.
Yep.
I was just wondering how the older generation of farmers are accepting the change to corporate farming, and how you're working with farmers to develop the industry more corporately compared to privately.
Yeah, it's a good question, Andrew. I'd probably take a couple of different approaches to that, and first is on the succession planning, I guess, side of things. You're talking about how they're preparing for change down the track, and I'd say generally farmers are developing and changing slowly, and it's taking a while for the mindset to put plans into place, and it's probably not just to accept the corporate type model.
Yep.
It's to change within their own business to keep their own business sustainable.
Yeah,
I
right.
suppose it's an area where we really, the main focus for what we do at MGI and what I'm concentrating on is keeping the family farm going. And there is a big gap between the family farm and the corporate model.
Yep.
What can we do at that end to help the family farm develop, and is it finding some other capital from somewhere, and providing that pathway for ownership for young people? So it's a big area of concentration, I suppose, that we work in. But to answer your question, it's happening really slowly, and I don't know whether there'll ever be a full acceptance of the corporate model for all farmers. But the corporate model does exist in many different capacities. Some with partnership ownership, some all-out land ownership and managers running the properties.
Yeah.
It's there's quite a wide gap, isn't there?
There is. Another thing too, a lot of farmers are sometimes more conservative than others.
Yep.
How are farmers investing money and then losing control of that money, which a lot of the time they've always had control of, and how do they deal with that?
Yeah, probably again slowly. Not there's, I guess a farmer gets to mid-60s and what are his choices about what he does, and mostly, unless the farm's taken over by family members, it's sold.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then the farmer takes his money to the nearest town, or maybe he has got some really big goals in terms of retirement, but I think it's a real struggle point for the farmer. And but leaving capital in is probably not going to be very common. It's probably going to be common for a percentage of farmers that are trying to foster someone else up through into ownership.
Yeah.
And I think from where New Zealand's quite developed with the partnership type model, and I'd say there's probably 1,000 non-family farms that are in partnership type arrangements.
Yeah, right.
So if you looked at the total farmers, not a huge amount, but a percentage of, but they've got to perform well, and it doesn't always fit with farmers when they're retiring.
Yeah, right. I've just got one more question. Myself as a young farmer and hopefully investor one day, how did you and how should I maybe go about investing in corporate farming and corporate agriculture? Yeah,
well, I think probably the term corporate, I suppose, if we talk to more partnership farming, I think where you've got a share in it. So I would guess a traditional corporate model might be the land and stock and plants owned by a large entity, and that the managers are working on the farm. But if you talk about the partnership model, is that what you meant? More, you've got a share in it and you're running it.
Somewhere to get started, basically.
So how do you do it?
Yeah.
There's many different ways, and there's no simple answer.
Yeah.
But it's probably about promoting yourself as a top performer. Maybe finding a farmer that is ready for that move to retirement stage, and therefore some partnership arrangement with them.
Yep.
Or finding other people and getting out there and making a reputation for yourself in a particular area and focusing really hard on it. And I believe that people will see opportunities will come from that.
Yeah.
And I've just seen that in Tasmania last week with the guy I mentioned earlier. He's developed his own farm, but he's also been asked to develop another farm on behalf of an investor and be part of developing that. And he's done that after 5 years of hard graft.
Yep.
And it's hard to do when you haven't got a bit of capital to put in at the start. So there's got to be a period of really grafting it out.
Absolutely.
To get there. There's no easy answer really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.